Ya, boleh, silakan.
Oh ya, baik, terima kasih. Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, Mas and team.
Okay, thank you. We are from Group 2. We will be bringing our presentation entitled Vocabulary Test. Me, Mbak Roisa, Mas Bangkit, Mbak Cynthia, and Mbak Muwardah. So, I'm the first part of this presentation. But later, five of us, every one of us will have their part to deliver to you all. So thank you very much, Mbak Cynthia, for sharing the screen. So this is the title, Vocabulary Test. And next slide. So the basic concept why the vocabulary test should exist are to measure the size of students' vocabulary. This is about the breadth of knowledge of the student, of course. And then the second is to test how well he or she, I mean the student, knows the individual words, or we are talking about the depth of knowledge. So the next. So the aspect of vocabulary tests are form. The aspect of vocabulary tests are, the first is form, to know the pronunciation and spelling of a word, and then grammar. When teaching regular verb, we should also present the other two forms. Similarly, when teaching a noun with an irregular plural form, such as man, we should also immediately teach the word man as the plural form. And then the next is collocation. Collocation, the simple definition of collocation is a combination of two words, two or several words, and they have a special meaning. Why collocation should exist to make students know in what context they can use the word. For instance, verb ask and make can be used in different situations. We can say ask permission, but not make permission. So the next is meaning, as one of the aspect of vocabulary test. Meaning can be divided into several categories. The most used are synonyms, like pretty and beautiful, and then antonyms, young and old, and then hyponyms, like lion, cat, zebra, and other animals. So the next slide, Mbak Cynthia, and then word formation. Word formation, the simple definition of word formation is creating new words by modification of the old ones. There are several ways how to form a new word, such as compounding, or second-hand, I mean. So adding a prefix like in or decisive, or a suffix, comfort plus able, and etc. And then next is word class, as one of the aspect of vocabulary test. There are 8 word classes. There are nouns, verbs, adjective, adverb, pronoun, preposition, numeral, and conjunction. So you can see the example in the bracket, inside bracket. So the next, Mbak Cynthia, selection and size of vocabulary test. What we are going to deliver or to present about the selection and size of vocabulary test. We have struggle for making this definition. Sorry for the mistake. Selection and the size of vocabulary in the context of a test refer to the words or terms that are chosen for testing language proficiency or knowledge. The selection of vocabulary involves determining which word or terms should be included in the test based on the specific goals or objectives of the test, such as assessing vocabulary skills, grammar proficiency, or domain-specific knowledge. The size of vocabulary refers to the total number of unique words or terms included in the test. For example, let's consider vocabulary test designed to assess English language proficiency for non-native speakers. The selection of vocabulary for such a test would typically include words from various frequency levels, ranging from common everyday words to less common and specialized words. The test might also include words that are relevant to the test taker's language learning goals, such as academic or professional vocabulary. Maybe we have studied about ESP. Maybe the vocabulary of ESP also defined in this slide. So the next slide, Mbak Cynthia. The size of the vocabulary in the test would depend on the level of proficiency being assessed and the specific goals of the test. For example, a basic vocabulary test for beginners might have smaller vocabulary of around 500 to 1,000 words. while a more advanced test for advanced learners might have a larger vocabulary of 2,000 or more words. Here is an example of a selection and size of a vocabulary test. So the test is English vocabulary proficiency objective, or the goal is to assess the test taker's knowledge in English vocabulary. Selection of vocabulary, common everyday words. So the example inside the bracket. So academic or professional vocabulary, also the example inside the bracket. Domain-specific vocabulary, the example also inside the bracket. Idiomatic expression or phrasal verbs, example also inside the bracket. Size of vocabulary, 10 words. The test might include multiple choice question, fill in the blank exercises, or other types of tasks that require the test taker to demonstrate their knowledge of the selected vocabulary items. The selection and size of vocabulary in the test would be carefully designed to align with the test objectives and the intended proficiency level of the test takers. So the next, Mbak Cynthia. What to test is not my part, so thank you. And we are having my another friend.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mbak Cynthia, we can test the basic aspect of words which are written or spoken form, as well as collocation, derivation, meaning, part of speech, and relative frequency and certain register style. According to the purpose, there are two tests. The first is contextual. Contextual tests mean that the vocabulary is examined through a test. This contextual test can be further divided into test active vocabulary or passive vocabulary. And this is the example for active vocabulary. Mbak Cynthia, next. And the second is the contextualis. The contextualis test, there are only words without any text. Mbak Sin. Mbak Cynthia. Why test vocabulary? To find how to test. Use current reading segment to create a fill in the blank worksheet with the passage from the reading. Allow students to use a workbank to complete the test. The first is test student using word connected to a certain theme. Second, give students word from the same chapter. The third, test vocabulary by having students identify prefix, suffix, and root words. Fourth, allow students the chance to figure out word through identifying word part. The fifth, create a worksheet in which the vocabulary words are used incorrectly in sentence. The sixth, have students correct the mistake and change the wrong word to correct word. And the seventh, create the worksheet that will allow students to categorize words that belong together. Mbak Sin, next. Why to test? Why test vocabulary? The first, to find out if students have learned the word that were taught. Second, to find where students' vocabularies have gaps so that specific attention can be given to this area. The third, to help place students in the proper class level. And the fourth is a mean to motivate students to study, to show students their progress in learning new words. On a more general basis, a test purpose is related to the kind of lexical information desired. The first is breadth of knowledge. To obtain an estimate of the size of learners' vocabulary, that is how many words or word family they know. And the second is depth or quality of knowledge, to measure how well target words or word family are known. Okay, next. This is
Yes. The next we will talk about is the testing technique. Next, but here the first multiple choice. This is a question that consists of a so-called STEM and 4 options from which only one correct. The examined has to choose the right answer. We can use it either for testing single word in sentences, or text. This technique is easy to mark, but quite difficult to design because we have to find 3 distractors, which are items that would distract or confuse the examined. The example here for the single word, tangle means A, type of dance, B, a tropical forest, C, a confused mass, and D, a kind of fruits. So tangle means here a kind of fruits. And the example for the sentence here, there is a good blah 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 at the audience tonight. So the correct answer here is D, acting. Next, the second one is cloze test. Cloze test is a test based on a test with gaps that are put there regularly after every 7, 8, or 9th word. The examined has to complete the gaps with appropriate word. Cloze test, quite easy to create. The teacher just needs to find suitable text and delete some word from it. Here the example, we finally blah 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 a village where I blah 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 a lady whose age I blah blah blah. And next, the next here word information. Students have to change the form of the word so that it fits to a particular sentence. They have to show that they understand the context and that they know various forms of a word. The example here, the next time you go to a supermarket, don't forget to buy the biggest bottle of kitchen cleaner. You can do blah, 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 your roof surface. So for this for the example here, the students can choose the correct one with the suitable word. The next is matching. There are 2 groups of words, mostly in 2 columns. The student has to make pairs from this word, which makes sense somehow. They are especially good for practicing vocabulary, such as adjective of opposite meanings. And also we can design a test which use words and picture. Words and pictures are being matched. So for the example here, using 2 columns, put this word into the correct columns. There are apple, grape, carrot, banana, cauliflower, spinach, strawberry, potato, cherry, and melon. So the students here must mention what are the kind of fruit and the kind of vegetable and write into 2 columns. And the sample here, or students can match the right beginnings and endings of sentences according to their meanings. So the students can match the beginning and the ending. The example here he planned. So the students can choose C, the seed in 3 separate rows, and C pick some beautiful red apples. And next, the next is odd one out. Students have to determine which item does not belong among among the others, the number of items can be various. For the example here, find the odd word. Pencil, book, cat, rubber. So here the students find the odd word. The odd word here is cat. And the next one is writing sentences. Students have to make sentences from different words. The students be able to create such specific sentence. The example here, healthy. So then the students write the specific sentence like you need to eat more vegetable and less fat to be healthy. That's all. For the next will be delivered by Mbak Cynthia.
Thank you for the time, Mbak Roi. So here I would like to deliver another examples of technique in testing vocabulary. The next one is through dictation. In this technique, the teacher dictates words or sentences to students. Are in 1991 claims that if someone knows how to spell a word, or he or she probably knows what this word means. So here I put some examples of dictation techniques. Number one is I put sentence like this. You are right. I write with my right hand. So it will make students confused which is the correct spelling or the correct writing. The next one, I put their son is an only child. So the correct answer is the second choice. The son that mean, oh sorry, the correct answer is the first choice. Their son that means kids. And then the third one is the cat was last seen in the backyard. Here the correct answer is the second choice. And then the next one is true sentence completion. Here students are given incomplete sentences containing words that we need to test. Their task is to complete these sentences so that they make sense. For example, number one, I put here, I feel depressed when blah, blah, blah. So here students have to elaborate their vocabulary in order to make the sentence complete. And the next one is yesterday I was furious because blah, blah, blah. The third one is my greatest mistake was blah, blah, blah. The next one is through definition. Here, the teacher gives students a list of definition of words that he needs to test. However, not every word can be easily defined, and sometimes there can be more than one possible answer. Here, the examples are, I put a definition, and then student task is to find what does that mean. For example, it's an animal that likes bananas. So what is it? The answer is monkey. The next one, a vehicle that is designed for air travel has wings and one or more engines is a plane. And then the last one, a place where you can buy books is a bookstore. The next one is true translation. Here, learners can be tested through translation, either in single words or whole sentences. It can test both meaning and form. The translation is considered the most difficult type of testing since the teacher may have trouble finding the right equivalent between the two languages. So here, the example of translation method, there are a passage, and then the length of the passage can be varies depending on students' ability. And then there are some old words that they have to find. What does that mean? For the next one is true writing. Writing consists of several criteria to be assessed. They are lexical density, lexical variety, and lexical sophistication. Lexical density refers to the term that most often for describing the proportion of content words such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, and often also adverbs. Lexical variety refers to the usage of different words and structures. And then the lexical sophistication refers to the usage of infrequent vocabulary that does not belong to the most used vocabulary. So here are the example. The teacher will give some terms to the students such as politician, rubbish bin, and homeless. So their task is to make a sentence based on the word given. The next one is through reading. Through reading, we can test basic vocabulary, mostly which is also useful for students as they learn to guess the meaning of words from context. They will need this ability a lot in their future studies of English. So here I put an example of a passage. The length of the passage can also be various depending on students' ability and the level. And then the task for them is implied from the text. So here the task is they have to decide which statements are true or false based on their interpretation of the text. Okay, for the next one will be delivered by Mas Bangkit. Mas Bangkit, the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kak Cynthia. Okay, and the next one is oral testing. Oral testing is a kind of test which is to acknowledge the student ability to pronounce or to acknowledge the word itself, but by the contents or the fluency from the word itself. These are notable simple test, simple scoring that I made to test oral testing. In oral testing, like you see, number 5 represent the best performance, and the one is worse. So the max score that the student will have is 10. When the student is not fluency enough, they will decrease their score, maybe in 3 or 4. Or the fluency, they're not fluent well, their score will be reduced into 3 or 4. Actually, this kind of oral testing can be done in.
Excuse me, this is oral testing for vocab or for speaking?
No, vocabulary. Vocabulary.
Okay, please go on.
Okay. This oral testing can be done in larger class. For example, the teacher give the student several topics. For example, holiday, and then maybe holiday, and then what else? From family, maybe it can be anything. And then in a week, the student will be tested, and the teacher will choose one of them, and the student will be given only 1 minute to test about their knowledge about that thing, about the test about the topic before. Next, Mbak Cynthia. And the next one is association. Association is student have to underline the word which is belong to the keyword. For example, electronic, fan, TV, radio, speaker, PC, keyboard, DSLR, lenses, and etc. In bahasa Indonesia, we can see this as a kayak kata umum dan kata khusus seperti kayak gitu. For another example, this kind of fruit, we have a word fruit. So, what are words that belong to the fruits? For example, we have mango, and then banana, pineapple, and then watermelon, and etc. And the next one is placing. Placing is what that have relate to another word. For example, my example first is a relationship. The related word from relationship such as a relation, association, friendship, affinity, affiliation, partnership, and sisterhood. For another example, maybe we can say such a what? For another example, we can say campus, university. We can say university. So what is something related to the university? Maybe we can say a lecturer, maybe we can say campus, maybe we can say library or something like that. And the next one is synonym and antonym. Yeah, like we used to know synonym and antonym. Synonym is padan kata, and the antonym is lawan kata. We already learned it in our elementary school. Yeah. For the first is clever. Clever means like smart, and bright. Bright has a meaning. Bright is not only cerah, but also cerah means like a clever or smart. Important has a synonym with significant. And the next one is the opposite meaning for the antonym. Beautiful as ugly. This is beautiful and ugly, and then happy and sad. For another example, maybe we have tall and short, maybe. Next, Kak Cynthia. And the next one is transformation. Transformation, student have to reread a sentence which has the same meaning. My first example is Henry is a football prodigy. I put prodigy as to be a transform, so I changed the prodigy into a very well. I mean, like, prodigy is someone which is very genius at something. So I have to put in this kind of synonym, this kind of same meaning. So he plays football very well. Okay. And the next one is substitution. A student has to rewrite the original sentence in the form which is indicated by the given word. Barry is searching his wallet, and I'm changing the word searching into has a same meaning. The word searching is that Barry is looking for his wallet. The difference between substitution and transformation, prodigy and very well, I mean, it's not has really same meaning, but okay. But we can put it in the same way. Thank you.
Okay. The presenter? Anything to present?
It's enough, sir.
That is enough? That is all?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, any question from you now?
Okay, any question, guys?
Iya, Bapak.
Okay, come on, Rosdino.
Okay. The first one, probably I want to add something, add something that what I have already read, probably to add more, it is based on Hitton's book that for the selections, item selections for vocabulary could be, the first one is coming from the curriculum framework or the syllabus. And the syllabus or curriculum framework. And the second one, it can be from the student's textbook. The third one is about the student's the student's error, and the last one is the student's reading list. Yeah, and my question, Bapak, and also the presenters, how if the vocabulary items it relates to our context in Indonesia, for example. For example, like this. Setelah ada pembelajaran, diperkenalkan bagian-bagian dari rumah, misalnya. Nah, di situ dipelajari bahwa ada living room, dining room, kitchen, dan lain sebagainya. Nah, kemudian diteskan. Diteskan kepada anak-anak. Ternyata di Indonesia itu ya mohon maaf, saya pun kalau makan masih di dapur biasanya. Nah, atau di pawon gitu ya, di bahasa Jawa, di dapur. Nah, secara kontekstual ini kontekstual, tetapi secara materi pembelajaran itu tidak sama. Karena di materi yang dipelajari, dining room itu adalah tempat untuk makan, for example. Nah, how to anticipate this kind of questions, gitu ya Bapak.
This is cultural gap, yeah. This is
Yeah.
kind of cultural gap.
Cultural gap, yes.
Yeah, cultural gap. Presenter, do you have some possible answer for this as far as you can? Before I try to add your answer, I invite the presenter first.
Oh yeah, let me try, Pak Mas Riki.
Yeah.
Representing from our group 2. Maybe what Mas Dino said. I mean, the question from Mas Dino was excellent, and let me predict what Mas Dino was talking about is about intercultural. Is that right?
Yes.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
Iya, benar, Mas Adit.
Oh yeah, okay. If this is about intercultural, maybe we know the culture of Indonesia we are living right now in, and the culture in another country is different, and English coming from the English as language coming from the United Kingdom, which has many different culture with us, but let me try to answer. If we have something different in meaning, like what Mas Dino said, maybe we can add an extra definition, or maybe I don't know. In the last semester, in the previous semester, I was in the same group with Bastino, making about the intercultural paper. Maybe, but I forgot how to fix this one. But what I know is this is about intercultural. So what we can answer from Bastino question is, we as a teacher absolutely have an obligation to add an extra definition of vocabulary that has different meaning in here and in another country. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Adi. Your answer is quite good today. Mas Dino, and also to every one of you, we have to understand the psychological concept, or maybe not psychological concept actually. It is as far as the linguistic concept. When we are learning language, linguistically, learning language is also learning the culture. Okay, so culture here is also part of the language. That is in the broader sense. We can say that learning language is learning culture. Learning culture and also here is part of learning language itself. Then, whenever there is a discrepancy, there is a gap between the concept of kitchen and also the concept of dining room, for example. I think this is not becoming the problem. I think we prefer to test them in Indonesian context rather than in American context, for example. So the language here must be contextualized. It means it is relevant where we are living, where we are using the language. So when we have to test the word kitchen, for example, or we are eating in blah blah blah, for example. What is here? The right answer here in Indonesian context, you may say, for example, dining room, or I think it is also correct whenever you are saying it is in the kitchen, whenever the form or the item form, the item format is in the form of completion, for example. So in order to minimize the possibility of being of having more than one correct answers, I think the tester should select a very appropriate format of the test. You should not test the meaning of kitchen here and also dining room, for example, in multiple choice item. You may say, for example, in what is here, in the completion item format, or maybe as stated by Mas Adi just now, you may also test it in the form of definition. I think it is okay. So in order to minimize the gap here, we can say, or we can select some type of test format that is relevant to test the meaning if there is a cultural gap between the two meaning here. I think we have to understand also, as already stated by Mas Dino, whenever we are trying to select lexical item, that is the vocabulary to be tested, there are several sources. One of them is about the syllabus. Another source is the student lexical error, reading material, and also some other word, taken from the word list. Yeah, word list here is Michael West. Usually it is written by Michael West. Anda mungkin belum pernah mengetahui apa yang dimaksud dengan word list itu. Word list itu adalah list, ya, daftar. Daftar tentang apa? Daftar tentang kata. But the list here is not only listing the word, but it is also listing the frequency of the word along with the level of difficulty. Michael West from Wellington University already made a kind of a word list showing us about the word along with the frequency. The least the word frequency is, the most difficult the word. The more frequency we get from the list, the more, or maybe the most, the more frequency index we can take from the list, the easiest the word is, or the most frequently word used. So when the word has a great number of frequency, it means the word are popular. They are used by most people. The word list can also become the source of the lexical item whenever we are going to test student. I think this is the answer, Mas Dino. So once again, don't be confused about the different concept because of the cultural gap. However, we have to be able to select appropriate item format for testing in case there is a different meaning because of the cultural gap. This is my recommendation. Still, we can test the word, although the word has different meaning in accordance with the context where we are using the language. Okay, any more questions? If you have no more questions, let me have a enrichment for your presentation today. I have already summarized, and it is in two different PowerPoint. One is this. Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes, Bapak, clear.
Okay, I'm asking first to the presenter. What should be tested in vocabulary? Mas Adi? Huh? Apa yang diteskan dalam vocabulary itu? Kalau kemarin apa itu tes tentang grammar. What is tested in grammar is about the formations of word, phrase, clause, and also sentence. That is the ability of the student in the construction of those areas become our target of evaluation in the grammar test. Now I am questioning a very basic question. What should we test whenever we have a vocabulary? What are the aspects to be tested in vocabulary? Anyone answer? Kalau kita mengeteskan vocab itu sebetulnya yang diteskan apanya sih? Itu pertanyaan saya. Ini pertanyaan yang harus kita jawab. Kalau kita mengeteskan speaking, itu yang diteskan apanya? Nah, kalau kita mengeteskan writing, yang kita teskan apanya? Nah, itu harus menjadi pegangan kita sebelum kita mengkreasi tes. This is the understanding, a very, very important understanding, the nature of the test. Whenever you have a vocabulary test, what should be tested? Anyone?
The memory of the words students has.
Okay, the memory of the word. As long as the word can be memorized, it means good. As long as the student can memorize a great number of words, it is better. Okay. Any more questions? Any more answers?
Maybe word and acknowledgement. I
Sorry?
mean, he knows what the word is.
Okay.
Word
The
acknowledgement.
student knows what the word is. You made the you mean the meaning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Know
All
how to
right.
use
Good.
the word. Yeah.
Okay. In addition to the meaning, we are also evaluating. We are also trying to understand whether or not the student able to use the language. Okay. Very good answer. All right. I think Bangkit answer is quite good today. All right, pay attention here. Correct. Yeah. When we have to create a vocabulary test, we have to keep in mind that vocabulary test is testing the word mastery. Okay. Testing the word mastery, mengeteskan penguasaan kata. Dikatakan menguasai kalau bagaimana? Nah, itu tadi yang dikatakan Mas Bangkit tadi itu. Basically, whenever we are testing vocabulary, basically, we are testing the word mastery. Menguasai, mengetes penguasaan kata. Word mastery itu apa? Ada dua kriterianya. Persis yang dikatakan Mas Bangkit. Orang dikatakan mempunyai word mastery as long as he or she is understanding the word meaning. Paham maknanya. Orang dikatakan menguasai kata kalau indikatornya paham maknanya. Ingat ini, paham maknanya. Second indicator is that they or she, he is able to use the word in the context, both spoken and written. Oke. Coba ini diingat-ingat betul konsep dasar ini. In order to test the vocabulary, we have to understand the purpose of testing vocabulary. That is to test the word mastery. What is the word mastery? The word mastery deal with whether or not the student understand the meaning, whether or not the student is able to use the word in the context, whether it is spoken or written. Ini konsep dasar yang harus betul-betul kita kuasai dulu. Maka di awal tadi seharusnya mulainya dari ini. Saya selalu menyarankan pada grup-grup nanti berikutnya yang presentasi, ketika membicarakan tes, speaking, writing, apapun, we have to ask what should be tested. What areas we are going to test. Apa sebetulnya yang akan kita teskan. Ini menjadi entry point yang penting untuk kita ketahui. Okay. I think this is quite understandable to you. Then, all right, there are two major kind of. This is the question. Then, after knowing what is to be tested, we have to understand how to test. Sama ini logika berpikirnya sama dengan yang kemarin. Nanti pun juga sama logikanya. How to test? Kalau yang diteskan itu pemahaman makna kata dan penggunaan kata dalam konteks baik itu spoken maupun written. Kemudian bagaimana kita mengeteskannya? Okay. There are many ways of testing the vocabulary. I think some of the major ways how to test vocabulary have already been presented by the group right there. Ada tadi yang terakhir terutama dari buku apa saya tidak tahu, ada transformation, ada substitution, rearrangement dan seterusnya. Nah, silahkan dari semuanya nanti bisa dilihat. Tapi ada dua yang paling penting, yaitu mengeteskan vocabulary secara produktif dan secara reseptif. Pay attention about this. So, in order to test the word mastery here, there are two main ways of testing. The first is by applying or by following the productive method of testing and receptive method of testing. Dengan cara yang produktif dan dengan cara yang reseptif. Atau dari buku lain disebutkan dengan cara yang aktif dan dengan cara yang pasif. Itu buku lain mengatakan begitu. Sama itu, produktif, reseptif. Produktif itu aktif, reseptif, pasif. Nah, pertanyaan saya, what is meant by productive ways of testing vocabulary? Anda mengukur dengan cara apa? Kalau produktif itu intinya mengukur apa? Kemampuan memahami atau kemampuan menggunakan?
Kemampuan menggunakan.
Menggunakan.
Bagus. Nah, paham Anda? Jadi dengan konsep PowerPoint ini yang ada dalam PowerPoint ini, there are two ways. Whatever the format, we can understand that there are two ways of testing. One is productive and the second one is receptive. One is active and the other one is passive. Whenever I'm asking you, whenever we are testing the vocabulary productively, actively, what type of word, what type of mastery we are going to test? The answer is we are testing the use of the word. Nah, ini sebaliknya kalau kita itu mengeteskan makna kata, mengeteskan secara pasif, berarti kita sebatas mengeteskan pemahaman kata, understanding the word meaning. Oke. Okay, alright. Please understand about this one. Sebentar. Saya ada gangguan sebentar dulu. Oke. Well, alright, let's go on. Okay, pay attention here. I only exemplify, I only give you an example. The main, or not the main actually, the common form of test. Okay, pay attention here. This is multiple choice test. Okay, I have quoted two examples presented in Hitton's book. It can be classified into two groups. That is group A and group B. Okay. Pay attention on the direction. Choose the letter of the word which is nearest in meaning to the word in italics. Pilih huruf A, B, C, D itu yang menunjukkan makna kata sebagai kata yang dicetak miring, italics itu. Andy has been very feeble since his illness. A, unwell. B, thin. C, foolish. And then D, weak. Kira-kira kuncinya yang mana? Anda pilih yang mana?
D.
Yang mana?
D.
Okay, good. Correct. D, weak. Okay. Okay, right. Group B. Choose the letter of the correct word to complete the sentence. Melengkapi kalimat. Tetapi lagi-lagi memilih, choose. Have you heard the planning committees blah 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 for solving the city problem? Theory, design, proposal, purpose. Kira-kira yang mana yang betul? Kira-kira yang mana?
Purpose.
Yang mana?
D, Pak.
Proposal.
Salah.
Proposal.
Salah.
Pak,
Yang
proposal.
betul adalah proposal. Oke, C ya. Oke. Sebentar. Sebentar, tak menyerahkan dokumen dulu karena dari kantor menyuruh saya untuk menyerahkan dokumen saya. Sebentar aja. Oke, saya akan ngajar ini. Di sini ya. Baiklah harus ke kantor. Oke, mohon maaf ada gangguan. Oke, let's go on. Group A, type A and type B, both of them are multiple choice. As you have already learned from the previous group last week, as usual, multiple choice consists of 3 different aspects. One is STEM, and the second one is choices. Choices are classified into 2. 3 A, B, C here become the distractor, and then D here turn out to be the E or the correct answer. Okay, all right. This is the explanation about the type of the, or maybe the components of the multiple choice test. What I'm going to say to you here, we have to understand here that the lexical item to be tested here is inserted in the stem. Kata yang diteskan, fiber, ini dimasukkan dalam stem. Oke. Siswa disuruh mengenali mana yang benar. Ini kira-kira termasuk tes yang production atau yang reseptif atau yang produktif?
Reseptif.
Reseptif. Mengapa reseptif?
We use the vocabulary in context, sir.
Bukan itu alasannya. Benar reseptif, tapi alasannya bukan begitu. Ada lagi yang punya alasan? This is receptive test, Pak Mas Duki. Why?
Mungkin karena
Maknanya,
menemukan persamaan makna, sir.
Maknanya, sir.
Sorry?
Makna.
Mungkin karena menemukan persamaan katanya.
Bukan begitu. Alasannya bukan begitu. Coba penjelasan saya tadi. We are testing test productively whenever we test the student to understand or to use.
To use.
Understand the meaning.
To use. We are testing the students in the passive manner, receptively, when we are testing the students how to understand the meaning. Maka ini kita kategorikan yang reseptif, yang pasif. Alasannya apa? Masih salah semua alasannya.
To understand the meaning. What is the meaning of people? Because it's only find out the meaning of people, so we have to know the synonym.
Okay.
Just like the meaning, find out the meaning.
Because the correct answers here. Because the student does not produce the word by themselves. They are only identifying, selecting which one is suitable to the nearest meaning available. Jadi intinya siswa tidak memproduksi kata. Kata itu sudah ditawarkan dan hanya memilih. Itu alasannya. Mengapa tes semacam ini dikategorikan reseptif, tidak produktif. Baik. Tipe B sekarang. Produktif atau reseptif?
Produktif.
Produktif atau reseptif?
Produktif.
Mengapa produktif?
Karena mencari konteks kata.
Mencari konteks kata. Oke. Kata yang diberikan itu dari siswa atau dari tester? Dari testi atau dari tester?
Pilihan gandanya dari testernya.
Jadi siswanya memproduksi apa enggak?
Enggak.
Nah, kalau tidak ngapain kita mengatakan itu produktif? Oke. Jadi kata kuncinya adalah as long as the student does not produce the word, it means it is about the receptive way of testing vocabulary. Nah, as long as the student produce the word by themselves, not offered by the tester, of course it is productive way of testing. Jadi jangan terkecoh dari bentuknya, itu melengkapi, tetapi harus patokannya apakah kata itu dihasilkan oleh yang dites atau disajikan oleh yang mengetes. Kalau disajikan oleh yang mengetes, berarti dari diri siswa ini adalah tidak memproduksi. This is receptive way of testing. Okay? On the other way around is the productive way of testing. Okay, let's go on. Okay, this is another another explanation. The STEM. Okay, if we are testing vocabulary, whether it especially about the receptive way of testing, we may use several type of the STEM, terutama yang bentuknya multiple choice dengan cara yang reseptif itu. Kita punya cara beberapa untuk mengeteskan. STEM-nya bentuknya bisa berbentuk picture, bisa berbentuk definition, lexical item, or complete or incomplete sentence. Ini kalau multiple choice, reseptif dengan cara yang reseptif, multiple choice, mengandung STEM. STEM itu adalah tempat menyajikan permasalahan. Batang soal itu artinya the place where we put the problem. Namanya STEM. STEM itu definisi operasionalnya dalam dunia testing adalah the place where we put the problem to be tested. Tempat di mana kita menempatkan permasalahan yang diteskan. Itu namanya STEM. STEM-nya bisa berbentuk 4 ini, picture, definition, lexical item, and sentence. Mari kita lihat satu persatu. Oke. Nah. Oke. If the problem area being tested is located in the option, oh ini tadi yang maaf, yang ini picture. Nanti contohnya dilihat di bukunya Hinton aja atau bukunya Brown, boleh ini. Masing-masing di sana ada. Nanti Anda harus tahu itu. Nanti kalau mengembangkan, kalau picture ya picture semua, definition semua, jangan campur-campur. Harus fokus. Oke, perhatian ini. There are 4 different type of the STEM. Whatever the STEM is, apapun bentuk STEM-nya, apakah itu gambar, definisi, lexical item, atau sentence, maka prinsip dasar ini harus Anda kuasai ketika mengembangkan receptive way of testing in the form of multiple choice for vocabulary test. Pay attention. If the problem area being tested, kalau permasalahan yang diteskan ditempatkan dalam pilihan, bukan dalam STEM, tapi permasalahan yang diteskan muncul sebagai pilihan, maka the STEM should be kept simple. It means it is very easy to understand. However, if the problem area is included in the STEM, the option should be simple. Perhatikan, kalau permasalahan yang diteskan itu kita munculkan dalam pilihan, maka pilihannya the option should be kept simple. If the problem area being if the problem area being tested is located in the option, the STEM should be kept simple. STEM-nya harus gampang dipahami. Sebaliknya, kalau permasalahan yang diteskan itu muncul sebagai STEM, maka pilihannya harus gampang. Jangan dicampur adukan. Mari kita lihat. A person who receive and pays out money in a bank. Ini STEM-nya berbentuk apa? Gambar, definisi, lexical item, atau sentence?
Definition.
Definition. Okay, good. This is definition. A person who receives and pays out money in a bank. Jawabnya apa?
Cashier, Bapak.
Oke, cashier. Oke, baik. Ini maksudnya prinsip itu. Kalau kita membuat bentuk tes cara yang reseptif, ya cara yang pasif, misalkan bentuk yang multiple choice, ada prinsip nomor 1. Jika permasalahan yang diteskan diletakkan pada pilihan, seperti contoh ini kita munculkan dalam pilihan, maka stemnya, maaf, maka stemnya ini yang saya buat ini harus gampang. Gampang dalam artian mudah dipahami. Jangan sampai stemnya sulit. The option is also very difficult. So if the problem area to be tested is located in the option, the stem should be kept simple. Jangan menaruh permasalahan ganda. Stemnya sulit, problemnya juga sulit. Nah, ini seperti ini. A person who receive and pays out money in a bank. Nah, ini boleh sulit. Boleh sulit semuanya, boleh sulit, tetapi definisinya harus gampang. Nah, because we put the problem to be tested in the option. Kita menaruh permasalahan yang diteskan itu ada pada pilihan. Nah, oke. Sebaliknya, nah, ini perhatikan. Ian was contemptuous of the effort of his friend to raise some money from type. Okay. Ian was contemptuous of the effort of his friend to raise some money from the type. Saya tanya, where is the position of the problem to be tested? Is it in the stem or is it in the option?
Option.
Oh, awas, perhatikan. Letak permasalahan yang diteskan di mana? Apakah muncul di stemnya atau muncul di pilihannya? Ini untuk tes ini.
Distance, contemptuous.
Oke. Untuk ini permasalahan yang diteskan muncul di stem, Mbak, ya, Mbak Nura ini, bukan di pilihan. Kalaupun toh ini muncul di stem, maka pilihannya harus gampang. Ini kebalikan dari yang tadi. Paham ini? Kata contemptuous boleh sulit, nggak apa-apa, nggak masalah. Karena yang kita teskan itu. Tetapi pilihannya harus gampang. Pilihannya dalam bentuk definisi ini. Deep in thought, not humorous, satisfied, scornful, dan sebagainya. Akan. Ini tes untuk mahasiswa ini. Nah, contemptuous. So once again, please try to distinguish the problem area to be tested. Whether you like to put the problem area to be tested in the stem or maybe in the option. Silahkan nanti melihat browsing contoh-contoh di buku-buku itu kalau Anda mau mengembangkan seperti ini. Oke. Contoh lain. The twig should be cut to make the tree grow well. Oke, perhatikan. Permasalahan yang diteskan muncul dalam stem. Oke. Pilihannya harus gampang. Nah, gampang dipahami maksudnya. The twig should be cut to make the tree grow well. A. Branches, blade, simple, root. Mana yang betul?
Branches.
Nah, branches. Oke, branch. Ini boleh gampang artinya, tapi ininya boleh sulit yang diteskan. Baik. Prinsip yang berikutnya. Nomor 3. Principle number 3. When you choose to test the vocabulary receptively in the format of multiple choice. Okay. The principle number 3. The key and the distractor should be at approximately the same level of difficulty. Ini pilihannya ada 2, kunci dan distraktornya. Prinsipnya 1, mereka semuanya harus dalam level tingkat kesulitan yang relatif kurang lebih sama. Oke. Perhatikan ini, stemnya berbentuk apa ini? Picture, definition, lexical item, or sentence. Ada 4 stem. Picture, definition, lexical item, or sentence. Nah. Untuk yang ini, Berbentuk apa ini?
Lexical
Stepnya.
item.
Lexical item. Bentuknya lexical item. Lepas dari konteks. Inilah tes yang kemarin kita bahas. Following the approach of apa? Masih ingat? Structuralist approach. Ini tes yang dicontohkan Hinton ini mengikuti pendekatan structuralist. Artinya apa? Mengeteskan sesuatu kata lepas dari konteksnya. Ini yang structuralist itu. Maka bentuknya adalah lexical item. Oke. Hanya kata-kata lepas. Oke. Oke. Suffice. To be adequate. Harus. Acquiesce. And then be contrite. Kira-kira Anda milih yang mana?
Be adequate, sir.
Kenapa kok milih yang A?
Karena
Apakah
yang
Anda tahu maknanya haras?
harus tahu, harus itu melukai.
Anda apakah tahu namanya acquiesce? Tahu apa enggak? Jawab aja. Tahu apa enggak?
Belum tahu.
Belum tahu. Apakah Anda tahu yang namanya be contrite?
Belum tahu.
Belum tahu. Oke. Inilah alasannya mengapa kunci jawaban ini betul, kunci jawabannya adalah be acquainted. Itu harus dibuat sama level tingkat kesulitannya dengan pilihan yang lain. Agar apa? Kira-kira agar apa?
Bisa menebak.
Ya, in order to invite guessing. Ya, in order to avoid guessing, untuk menghindari siswa memilih benar, gitu. Tapi dia tidak tahu maknanya. Alah, saya tidak tahu haras ini, saya tidak tahu acquiesce, saya tidak tahu be contrite, saya yang tahu adequate. Oh, dipilih akhirnya menjadi benar. Nah, ini karena apa? Because the level of difficulty between the key and the distractor are not the same, are not approximately the same. Jomplang, nah, tidak imbang ini. Maka orang cenderung milih yang paling sulit atau mungkin nanti paling gampang. Ini prinsip yang nomor 3. Kalau cara yang reseptif ditempuh, apalagi bentuknya formatnya multiple choice. Ada prinsip dasar yang tidak boleh dilanggar. Oke. Yang berikutnya, sudah ini. Oke. Number 4. Prinsip number 4. Principles number 4. Oke. All the options should be approximately the same length. Ini juga dalam bentuk ini hitchhiker. Ini bentuknya lexical item. Pilihannya man who makes a rope, a person who travel about by asking motorists to give him free ride, an old-fashioned sailor, a boy who walk long distance. Oke. Ini cara membuat begini ini tidak begitu betul. Karena apa? Option B, the length of option B is longer than some other option. This is not good. So the length of the option should be approximately the same. Okay. Kemudian saya tambahkan lagi satu yang belum saya tulis di sini. Okay. The option, all the option. Oke, prinsip dasarnya begini, all the option all options should be all options should be at the same word class. Setiap pilihan, apakah A, B, C, D, pilihan, semuanya, all of them, should be at the same word class. Harus dalam kelompok kata yang sama. Perhatikan sekarang. The twig should be cut to make the tree grow. Dunia apa ini? Kelas apa ini? Binatang. Tanaman, atau
Tanaman.
pendidikan, atau makanan?
Tanaman.
Tanaman, plantation. Oke. Ini yang diteskan adalah dunia tanaman. Maka maksudnya pilihannya ini pun harus dalam bentuk dunia tanaman. You should avoid some other option that they are not at the same word class with the stem. Ya, oke. Perhatikan ini. Benches, oke. Dunia tanaman. Plate, piring, dunia tanaman? Bukan. Symbol, dunia tanaman?
Bukan.
Bukan. Road, dunia tanaman?
Yes.
Ya. Jadi, the consequence of this one is that the testee will focus only two option only, whether it is branches or root. Ini nggak bagus tesnya kalau itu tidak sama dengan word class-nya. Maka pilihan B dan pilihan C ini keluar dari prinsip dasar all option should be at the same word class with the word being tested in the stem. Ini beberapa prinsip dasar yang perlu sampean ketahui. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ada prinsipnya itu. Nah, oke. Yang lainnya ini ada reading test. Baik. Ada pertanyaan dari PowerPoint yang kelompok pertama? Oke. Yang ini, this PowerPoint is the summary. It's my summary. I also work not only the presenter, but I also try to summarize. This is the result of the summary. The concept of the vocabulary testing. Okay. So for here, we have to understand what is meant by vocabulary. Apa yang kita maksud dengan vocabulary itu. Dan apa yang kita teskan. Ini ada di sini, silakan baca. Kemudian, ada beberapa bentuk format nanti, apakah bentuknya definisi, kemudian selection item, vocabulary, mastery, dan seterusnya. Itu ada berbagai macam bentuk. Nah, silakan. Ini sama dengan yang kita sebutkan tadi. Kalau untuk konsepnya begini, maka yang diteskan dalam vocab itu apa? Yaitu vocabulary mastery. Meaning and using. Nah, bukan spelling, bukan pronunciation. So once again, whenever you are dealing with the vocabulary mastery, actually we are dealing with the 4 aspects, meaning the use, spelling, and pronunciation. However, when you are testing vocabulary test or you are developing the vocabulary test, only 2 aspects that you have to evaluate, meaning and use. Apakah paham dan mampu menggunakan. Bukan spelling, bukan pronunciation. Maka tadi saya tanya pada kelompok presenter, mengapain kok ada oral presentation, oral testing, dan kemudian yang dinilai adalah fluensinya. Padahal fluensi itu bukan wilayah cakupannya vocab. Fluency is not the coverage, is not the scope of vocabulary testing. Vocabulary testing is only dealing with the meaning and also about the use of the word. Oke, jadi jangan terkecoh. Fluency itu cakupannya, kriterianya, indikatornya tes speaking, oral production. Nah, hanya saja saya paham yang dimaksud dengan kelompok tadi itu. Kalau pendekatan pengajarannya, if the teaching approach is following total physical response, terutama yang mengajar di TK, penting sekali itu. Di TK itu boleh mengeteskan vocab. Nah, dan caranya menarik sekali. When you are teaching in kindergarten, for example, and then the approach of teaching you are following is total physical response. Ada yang sudah tahu total physical response-nya apa maksudnya? Siapa yang gambarannya secara singkat?
Demonstration, sir.
Oke, demonstration ada lagi mengajar dengan pakai demonstrasi. Yang didemonstrasikan apa? Total physical response.
Ya, misalnya open the door itu kita melakukan opening the door.
Open the door. Oke, saya tes sekarang Mbak Nuraini. Please put your hand on your head. Nah, ini loh bentuknya total physical response itu. Jadi siswa yang diajar merespon secara fisik. Bisa deskripsi, bisa seperti yang dikatakan Mas Dino tadi. Contohnya seperti itu. Kalau ngajar kita dengan cara itu, gitu loh maksudnya, maka vocab itu bisa diteskan lewat oral. Itu boleh. Tetapi lagi-lagi yang dinilai bukan fluensinya, tetapi yang dinilai adalah pemahamannya. Apakah respon yang diberikan correct or not correct. We try to evaluate whether or not the response is correct. In order to judge whether the response is correct or not, we can understand from the response given by the student, by the testing. Kalau saya menyuruh tadi begini misalkan, Miss Nuraini, please put your hand in your shoulder. Ya, betul apa salah ini? Betul apa salah? Betul. Silahkan menaruh tangan Anda di pundak Anda. Nah, because the response is correct, you may score them one correct answer. Bisa memberi jawaban yang benar. Artinya siswa mampu merespon. Itu tes vocab. Jadi saya mengeteskan kata-kata put, and then hand, and then shoulder. Please put your hand in your shoulder. Nah, mengeteskan kata-kata itu. Ketika paham, artinya paham itu respon yang diberikan pas dan betul, ini berarti siswa menguasai kata itu, memahami kata itu. Bukan fluensinya yang diukur, yang dievaluasi bukan fluensinya, tapi tetap meaning and use. Oke? Meaning and use. Tidak mungkin Mbak Nuraini tadi akan menaruh tangannya di pundak kalau dia tidak paham kata put, tidak paham kata hand, tidak paham kata shoulder. Atau salah satu saja tidak paham, dia akan salah. Tidak paham kata shoulder misalkan, akan menaruh tangannya di dada. Nah, kan begitu kan? Nah, itu. Jadi sekali lagi, whenever you are trying to develop the test of vocab, the indicator of being correct or not, it is not depending on the fluency, no, but it is depending only on two aspect, meaning and use. Nah, maka saya merevisi pemahamannya kelompok tadi itu, oral production itu yang fluency hanya untuk speaking. Nanti saya tunjukkan ketika speaking test itu kita menilai fluensinya, akurasinya, kemudian apalagi lupa saya pronunciation, and then fluency, clarity, dan seterusnya. Itu nanti akan kita wujudkan dalam bentuk rubrik biasanya itu. Oke, perhatikan ini vocabulary test. Tidak men-score fluency. Oke. Ini tadi yang dikatakan Mas Dino, selection of item, it might be from syllabus, from student textbook, student reading material, lexical error. Lexical error itu maksudnya kesalahan yang dibuat siswa ketika dia menulis atau bicara, guru yang bagus itu membuat catatan, itu maksudnya. Kemudian catatan itu nanti diterangkan, kemudian suatu saat diteskan, itu maksudnya. Lexical error taken from student free written work, from student incorrect closed test, misalkan. Ini jadi semacam kayak bank soalnya guru, guru memperoleh dari pengalaman sehari-hari, ketika mengoreksi tulisan siswa, mendengarkan siswa bicara, oh ini ternyata penting untuk saya masukkan kosakata ini menjadi bahan untuk diteskan pada tes vocab. Itu maksudnya. Oke, kemudian bentuk tesnya banyak. Type of test format, how to test, multiple choice. If it is multiple choice, please keep in mind about several principles as I told you before. And then rearrangement. Nah, kalau yang rearrangement ini, kira-kira aktif atau pasif? Mengeteskan kosakata dengan aktif atau pasif? Kira-kira?
Pasif, karena
pasif,
sudah tersedia.
Aktif.
Ya, rearrangement. Bisa aktif, bisa pasif. Kalau dia menghasilkan kata, pasti aktif. Nah, ini completion, ini completion itu. Completion itu, kalau completion murni pasti aktif. Completion tidak ada pilihan. Tapi kalau matching ini masih pasif gitu. Item involving synonym, it might be active, it might be passive. Intinya aktif atau pasif itu sejauh mana siswa itu bisa berbuat kalau menghasilkan kata-kata termasuk kata apa itu tes vocab yang aktif itu. Oke, nah ini ada juga yang ini. Rini is beautiful. Rini is very beautiful. She is singing. Nah, dari kata beautiful, perintahnya misalkan, please make up a new word based on the adjective given. Nah, misalkan, Rini is very beautiful. She is singing
beautifully.
Adverb menjadi adverb. She is singing beautifully. Kata beautifully itu diberikan oleh yang mengetes atau diproduksi oleh yang dites? Dalam hal konteks ini.
Yang dites.
Yang dites.
Diproduksi. Ini berarti tes sama tam ini adalah cara yang aktif. Saya kira gampang untuk memahami itu. Oke. Ini seperti yang saya contohkan kemarin itu. Productive test of vocabulary. Untuk menulis kata yang banyak dari situ itu. Ada juga yang type of format. Wah, ini receptive vocabulary, productive vocabulary ini. Ini summary-nya. Multiple choice, matching, rearrangement, set, ini bisa masuk dalam kategori receptive. Kemudian word formation, item involving synonym, completion masuk dalam yang productive. Ini ringkasan kita. Silahkan nanti dipelajari. Kalau itu bentuknya multiple choice, perhatikan prinsip-prinsip dasarnya ini. Prinsip dasarnya seperti itu. Saya kira itu yang paling penting untuk kita ketahui pada waktu mengembangkan tes vocab. Silakan, sudah saya bantu untuk meresum di sini. Anybody who is interested in developing vocabulary test, please try to develop one. Nah, ini contohnya yang tadi itu. The stem is replaced by the picture. Ini. Nah, stemnya digantikan dengan gambar. Prinsipnya apa? Ini silakan sudah kita resum di sini. Tinggal baca Anda. Oke. Ya. Baik, ada pertanyaan? Oke. Kalau tidak ada pertanyaan, mungkin keterbatasan kita, this is our limitation of doing the Zoom meeting. We cannot do the question and answer quite actively. Only through PowerPoint, I can provide you with a very clear description. Hopefully, it is very helpful for you, my PowerPoint. If you have some question, I think later on, when we have the off-class meeting, or maybe if the time is already full, it doesn't mean that we have a class in Ramadan. I think when the time of the class is already full, as usual, I think we can open more session for question and answer. I'm so sorry for the limitation during the Ramadan day. I think it is not enough to have a very complete session for building question and answer session. In order to help your understanding, once again, I have already provided to you some PowerPoint in order to make you easier to understand every concept of language testing, especially here in vocabulary test. Ada pertanyaan? Kalau ada, kita akhiri sekian aja. Nanti akan saya kirimkan lewat grup ini yang PowerPoint itu. Ada pertanyaan? Masih ada mungkin bisa 10 menit ke depan. Terima kasih kepada semua tim penyaji untuk memulai ini. Kalau ada yang salah, sesuatu hal yang wajar itu, tidak apa-apa kita revisi, tapi sudah menyajikan bagian yang pokok untuk kita ketahui bersama. Ya. Untuk tugas yang kemarin saya tugaskan kepada Anda, saya mohon Mas Daniar dimasukkan dalam satu folder saja di RAR gitu Mas Daniar.
Siap Pak, siap.
Nah, jadi tidak per orang mengirim ke saya, tapi cukup dimasukkan dalam folder di RAR begitu, kemudian nanti saya membukanya dari RAR itu per orang.
Siap Pak.
Oke, sama tugasnya untuk yang minggu ke depan ini sampai hari raya itu, sama tugasnya membentuk 5 sampai 7 pertanyaan mandiri dijawab sendiri, nanti dikumpulkan ke saya, kecuali presenter. Presenter yang sekarang tidak membuat pertanyaan tentang vocab. Tapi presenter yang kemarin wajib melakukan. Saya kira jelas itu. Baik, terima kasih. Kalau tidak ada pertanyaan, silakan Mas Daniar di foto, dikirim ke grup. Untuk
Ya,
bukti.
everyone. 3, 2, 1, senyum. Oke, terima kasih.
Ya. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Hari Raya
wabarakatuh.
Idul Fitri. Semoga kita diberi ampunan oleh Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, Allah Subhanahu wa taala, atas apa yang kita lakukan, ibadah-ibadah kita selama bulan Ramadan. Dan tentu di antara Anda kayaknya tidak ada yang mudik karena sudah ada di lokasi rumah masing-masing. Oleh karena itu, sekali lagi atas nama pribadi maupun atas nama pengemban amanah untuk menyampaikan mata kuliah Language and Development ini, jika ada kesalahan, kekilapan, mohon maaf sebesar-besarnya. Semoga Allah bisa mengampuni kesalahan kita. Amin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Pada teman-teman yang tidak merayakan